So I was talking to this dude about a week ago, and basically what he was telling me is just sleeping around is catching up with him. And it was fun for a while, and it's not as fun. And he was saying, this is here in Colombia, similar situation in Miami culture. They're similar but different. He was saying how, let's just say, certain environments he would go to go have fun and things like that. And he's like, man, it just keep going back to, a new girl or this and that. And where it really has bothered him recently is he'd been going out on dates with girls that he really likes. Those women that are girlfriend or wife material, they have a clearer radar, or at least they're listening to it, which is good, which is healthy, where they can sense the Playboy phase is not over yet. Maybe you can relate. I can think of me 5-6 years ago, 2019, with a girl I really liked. And I think that's what you could sense in me back then. And I thought it was most of the way over back then. Having an abundance or more women to date, to sleep with, doesn't seem like a problem at first. Matter of fact, if you have that in your life, a year ago, you might have been like, oh, that was just a dream I have, or I have to do some sleazy pickup thing. Not all pickup is sleazy, but a lot of it can be, or manipulation. Some of it can be great stuff. I have to do some weird shit. And now if you're dating more women, you're sleeping with more women. But then you kind of get to this thing, and it's confusing for the male ego, because if our friends are validating us, if society says, oh, you're the man now because you're casually sleeping with several women at the same time, we can get trapped in an identity of wanting to stay there. And we're not even thinking about this rationally. That we're stuck in wanting to be the man, the alpha. Now, if we took that behavior of not being able to say no to sex and wanting so much compulsive sex, if we took that behavior and we put it with a substance connected to it, tobacco, alcohol, weed, drugs, you go, that person has a substance problem. Now, if you're watching this and you're how I was, how many guys are, you probably wouldn't go on YouTube and type in, am I a sex addict? You can call it that, you cannot call it that. I think I don't think it really matters that much. There's a behavior and a pattern that's not working consistently. And now it's causing problems. When it really starts to hurt is when it's been generally years, not months, and you know there's something so much more that you're supposed to experience in this life. And as guys, we probably don't know, or maybe we haven't had the come to Jesus moment or the balls to confront ourselves to go, man, I'm being like a boy. And it's like, I'm 37, I have all this money. It's like, I talked to a 57-year-old this week that's being a boy. And he's aware of it. Now he is. There's a lot of good guys right now, great guys even, that are going to continue to get stuck in a worse trap. You have money, options, resources, women. If this problem isn't resolved, isn't examined, isn't changed, it will get worse. And I believe it'll actually get worse for guys that have more money and can grow more money, and things get faster with AI. Things can be more fun. There can be more matches if you're doing well that way, or whatever your strategy is. Especially if you're the kind of guy who knows you're supposed to have a family. There's a different And maybe it's subtle at first, pain in the background in your soul of knowing you're with the wrong woman or you're sleeping around. I remember a few years ago, I was dating this woman. I had no business dating this woman. It was like my worst decision I made in probably a decade. Hopefully she's not watching. Oh well. And we were dating. It got to a point after months, not a year even, where something in me, the desire to be a father, like hurt in a way I'd never experienced in my life. And yeah, I invite you to consider, you can wait for that pain, or as guys, we can not realize that we're actually avoiding emotional intimacy, or we're avoiding something. Most all of us as men avoid, even if you're watching this and you go, oh, I'm a anxious attachment style, that's fine. There's other things in life that as men we avoid. It's an easy way for us, where we're different than women, where we can compartmentalize things and push them away. So I'd wonder, as you think about it now, what's the cost to sleeping around? By the way, you're totally free to do it. And if you have status, money, and options, well, then you have more, which makes it easier to get sucked into. It's like a crackhead living next to the crack house who stopped smoking crack, but he's next to the crack house. On the same token, the money, status, and options is what can help a guy build the relationship he wants and build the family that he wants. And a lot of guys, man, I made this misconception so many times. We think that the variety of dating several women or playing the field or having the illusion of freedom, that actually is going to be more fun or more sexually fulfilling. Generally, when we date several women at the same time, and if we're telling the truth, which hopefully you are, and they know you're dating several women, they don't open to you completely. If you wanted to go to the botanical gardens and they had some special flower and it only bloomed every so often, there probably wouldn't be much of a point of seeing it when it's most of the way closed. You want to have the experience of the entire flower opening. The flower experience is how women operate. It's not a light switch, it's not a smile. Women can put on a veneer, but it's actually not. As you get to know yourself and pay attention to what you like, what you don't like, and what you notice, and kind of slow down as a guy, we'll realize that we could date 3 women and actually get less than if we dated one great woman. And here's the funny thing. Sexually, most people's sex lives are really bad. I mean, if you look at 56 people are going to be, was talking about this in the sauna with the dude tonight, 56 people, 56% of people are going to end up in a divorce. I know a lot of people that aren't really liking their relationships. That means probably 80 to 90% of relationships aren't doing really well. Pretty large number. When I talk to people, their sex life is usually worse than the relationship. There's a lot of beliefs, shame, I don't want to tell her this, I want this, or I gotta do this. So a lot of times when we are around other dudes, we'll assume wherever that they're at in their marriage, that's the future and that's how marriages go. You hear your uncle say it, your grandpa say it, whatever. Maybe not your grandpa. So the future looks worse. I know way more people that make $1 million a year or are jacked or have a 6-pack than I do that have great relationships for years, let alone decades. And it's really a choice of what you value, what you want to put energy into, and how you want to educate yourself. If you don't understand women and how women operate, bro, infinitely complicated experience of dating, which is where about 97, 98% of us, I used to live there. That's where we live as guys. When a woman really loves you and she's really into you and you can feel it. Like, you don't know with your head or some checklist or some relationship vision, even though that's great, but you can feel something inside of your body and inside of your heart. That woman will open to you, assuming you know how to lead her. More on that later. Open to you sexually in a way that will blow your mind beyond probably anything you've ever experienced. And a lot of us as men, even myself in years in the past thinking I'd experienced something much better. But there's a different flowering and expansion and openness when a woman feels truly safe and she simultaneously feels desired. From a woman's perspective, think of it this way, and this might sound weird to you as a guy, where she emotionally says, I'm safe, and also at the same time, I'm turned on. Those are kind of two different things that normally don't go together. But if they do, it's a totally different experience. So as I close the video out, I invite you to consider, what is the sleeping around costing you? Bro, you're free to do it for the rest of your life. I just heard of a guy, I can make a whole nother video on that. Down here in Colombia, it's easier, you don't need as much money. Love Colombia, I'm done with my Colombia chapter, I'm headed to Miami soon. 78 years old. Sounds like he has an identity of you have to have sex with multiple women a day at almost 80 years old. He's diabetic. I think they're gonna cut off one of his feet or his legs. He has sex with 3 women a day. 3, in this case, this is someone who I know, who I work with. He knows this guy. And I think they're all prostitutes. I'm pretty sure. For the guys that don't examine the consequences of how they're behaving, and again, no judgment, ask me how I know. I did a lot of it, like crazy sex, drugs phase down here in Colombia. There's a lot of guys that'll miss an opportunity when they know there's something inside them to become a different type of man, a husband and a father. But if they keep avoiding things, or we get stuck in Peter Pan syndrome that can hurt our egos as men to even call it that, like, you motherfucker, how could you say that? But it's true. We get stuck in Peter Pan syndrome when something in our soul, something deeper in us knows you're the motherfucker that's supposed to break the curse of your family's bullshit that's been hundreds of years of their pain, of their anger, of their fear, of their shame, whatever it is. But we can just decide to get laid for a while instead. Or we can realize we are that one that's supposed to break the lineage of pain to create a new reality for our future kids and our future lineage. Become the man you become the man that you needed when you were a kid, or getting laid by just random chicks or whatever. Calling yourself a playboy. Whatever you need to do. Thanks for tuning in. See you soon.